Hiya, welcome to another of Daniel and John's videos. We're on the allotment again. I think it's bank holiday weekend in April. So today we've been building basically a tent type fruit cage plant storage unit. Built it like this just so it's quite pleasing. We built it again out of the CLS. The only bits I've had to cut are these bits here, which were 155. We stuck them together with a brace there, and brace there, and you see when I've propped it off the ground, I've screwed these to the side of the CLS, whereas the CLS and the main frame is under there. Very simple construction again, and in the middle you see we've got some pallets which we taken to bits yesterday. And it's off the ground, and the reason it's off the ground is so you can get to the plants a bit easier and things, and it will keep them warm, and it will keep our furry friends away from them with any luck, so they can't get them too much. And then tomorrow we're going to put some mesh on this, and we're going to have doors that you can, or panels that you can just lift off to access your fruit and stuff. So we'll move on with that.
So it's like the square fruit cage, but more of a different design. So it's like that one there, but just a different design.
This took, if anybody's wondering, it was about 15 lengths of CLS.
You've creosoted it as well, haven't you?
Creosoted it, whereas the fruit cage there took 35.
John's been putting this mesh on, much like the fruit cage over there, similar sort of stuff that we're using. Well, it's the same stuff. Done all the back, done the corners, obviously done two bits here. And then we're just doing this area here. The weather's changed a little bit though. It was really sunny and hot, but now it's sort of got a bit more cooler, which is, as long as it doesn't rain, it's actually a nice thing.
Put me a new sun hat on it.
John's got a new hat.
It's dropped.
But yeah, so this is how we're doing these bits, just in case you're looking at making something similar. Just put it on, sort of line up the squares of each other roughly, and then we'll just bash it over and nail it down.
But just a word of warning again, unless you've got something like this where you can keep your hands away from this stuff, be careful, because I've already dinged myself again.
Yeah, so if you are cutting the stuff, it's worth having some proper snips, and it saves time as well.
And just a tip, I'm not one for too much health and safety, but just fold this up and get rid of it. You don't want any little doggies.
It's always handy to have some of that stuff anyway.
We can use this around the trees at the bottom, so
yeah,
it's not going to get
just
wasted.
To keep the bark.
Well, how much should we call a scrap man in?
But we've got bits in here as well in our little greenhouse. See, but they're always handy to have. You should always keep hold of little bits, as long as it's not too small. If it's tiny, there's no point. But any stuff like that, always handy to keep.
When we've done all this,
just for repairs, basically, pretty much.
We're going to put some BLS to keep it focused.
You might have to speak up a little bit because it's a little bit windy up
here.
So
we're going to do that.
Yep.
And then what I've decided is we'll build our little frames we've got out of thinner stuff. This stuff.
Yeah. So that.
I think what we might do.
So when John says frames, what he means is it's going to be like a frame made out of this. It's going to have that mesh on it, and it's going to be able to take it on and off.
Or we might hinge these two.
Might hinge them, yeah.
The two end ones, and the middle one you just lift on and off, and that way it's away from the ground and everything.
But that's just a proposed idea, not necessarily means we will do that, but obviously in later parts of this video you'll see
we will be doing
how we
that,
do it.
Though,
yeah.
On the bottom, just to drop anything on.
Yeah, so to sit on it.
So just like that, so the frames can sit on it.
So it's the second day, and we're back up here. So what John's added is he's added some strips here. They just run to the end. This is all 2.4. He added a strip up here. We might put a piece of wood in here or some mesh. We haven't decided yet. We were thinking about building some doors that opened, but I think we're probably just going to keep things a bit more simple with just some of this wood. We're going to build like frames with the mesh on, and the little twisty parts of wood with that, so you basically can just untwist and take the panel off, and we'll see how that goes. And you'll just, what are you up to? cutting some wood basically
I need
to.
2 strips for the length, 140 centimetres.
Yeah, that's them parts.
I will clamp a couple of bits together. Maybe Mark can sort of cut 2 at the same time.
Yeah, it just saves time, don't it?
Sensible.
Yeah, so we're using these Irwin quick grips. And to be honest, if you do any type of wood projects and things, or DIY in the home, etc., they're so handy. You've got little rubber.
They're not loads of money, are they?
They're not loads of money. You can buy them in different sizes and things as well.
So I've just creosoted this, but I would want to get on to it. So 1.4 is there.
Good tape measure. Yeah, so we just do a straight line.
So I'll do that. Always keep your pen safe and keep it pointing down, that way the nib never dries out.
Yeah, tip for you there. Always keep your pen safe in case you actually need to use it again.
Just say our tools are years and years of.
We've had this straight edge for years.
Just got a couple of bits of wood, little bits just to support.
So once we've cut that, we'll come back to you and show you sort of where we've got with it. Right, so that's the second piece cut. We've already got this section on. If you are using this stuff, make sure you actually drill it before you screw it, because it does have a nasty habit of cracking, unfortunately. And as John said earlier, we are creosoting everything. Hopefully that gives us a bit of protection. And this is just a case of lining it up at the top.
Now, trouble with me.
There's always one piece where you measure it and it's always not quite right or something. We might have to move that up and adjust that, mightn't we? So we'll get that piece on and then we'll work out what we're going to do with the rest of it. So we had to make a little bit of an adjustment on the height of this. It wasn't quite right. We're using the Irwin clamps as well.
To keep it in position, really. Just bear in mind this wood, if you're buying it, chances are it'll be bowed. So get your top screw in and then you can just bend it and position it so it's sort of straightish. Somebody once said to me, don't let perfection be your enemy. And what that means, when you give it some thought, is that it can slow you right down if you want everything perfect. So you just need to get the job done sometimes in a decent manner. So anyway, that's
sort of words of wisdom, and
words of wisdom for this year.
We'll come back to you once we've sort of worked out what we're doing. We may put these doors, doors on this on hinges. Don't know yet. We said we might put panels that come in. It just depends what. It kind of needs to be easy to use. You don't want to make something now that in a few months' time you think, oh, I should have put doors on it or something like that. So we'll see.
That is 73 again, so.
Right, so we've moved on a little bit. So what we've decided to do is we're not going to put anything on hinges, we're literally going to make panels. You'll see that in a few later part of this video. Put these vertical strips down, same as on the sides. And John's just going to show you how this is going to work. So we're going to have this treated smaller timber behind, and then something like this will fit in front.
Which will be the frame.
Which will be like the mesh on top of it, so it'll fit in there like that. Then we'll have little pieces that move.
Yeah,
just to secure it into place.
So that's basically the simplest way of doing it.
Just so we can literally take these panels off.
Give it some weight. In case anybody's wondering what these are, I'm not sure if I mentioned in the other
pallets,
video.
Old pallets,
they're just pallets split in two.
Yeah.
And they're ideal for this. lets the bees in if you want. Depending on what you use it for, you can cover it with netting. So the beauty with this is once we've got it constructed, we can either cover it with polythene.
You could have it as a mini greenhouse, couldn't you,
We
really?
can do what we want with this.
Yeah.
We can, you know, put panels inside here for summer, all sorts of stuff. So it lends itself to being quite a versatile unit, really.
So where are you putting these smaller strips? You said you were going to put them on the bottom rather than on the sides.
Well, I can either put them on the bottom,
Put them on the bottom like that.
2 on the bottom, or 2 on the sides.
But we don't want to use all our wood up. That's
We
the
will
only
see
thing.
what is the easiest thing for us to do, to be honest. If it's easier for us to access and do that, then we'll do that.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll have a play and see what happens, yeah.
So we've got these little ones in at the back. We levelled it up with this bottom piece. And John's just drilled it, and he's just going to put a little screw in them. But to be honest, they fit anyway.
Yeah.
And we just used a rubber mallet just to tap it in place. And we're going to put them along the top and we put them along the bottom. And the reason why we're just going to put them at the top and the bottom is so we don't end up
Saves
using loads of wood. Obviously,
it'll have the
you have
same-
huge strips.
Same effect. We just drop the. And if we really wanted to, the thing with that, we could hinge them on here and have them open up like that.
And
if we
yeah,
wanted
you
to.
could have them open up, sort of like that, and also it would have something to rest against.
It might, with some sort of stay that just keeps it open. Might be something interesting to do. We'll have a look when we're finished, but come back to you when we've moved along a little bit further.
Right, so as you can see, John has finished putting all these pieces in, these retainer pieces, top and bottom. We'll just put a little screw at the back, bit of wood glue each end. Now we've got to build the frames, which also we're going to use the same stuff. And the wood glue that we're using is, what's this stuff? It's Gorilla. Gorilla.
Now,
Show the front of it as well. It's really good stuff, that. Honestly, I recommend it. It dries really quick as well. Dries clear.
so it's waterproof, yeah. So that's why I'm using this outside as well.
Yeah.
Just bear that in mind. Yeah.
Yeah, if you've not used their range of products, they do like tapes. They do a whole range of stuff.
They do
now.
another glue that you add. You spray water, then you apply it, and
It activates like a
like
foam.
foam.
Yeah,
that. My God.
that is really good.
Yeah.
But this is just a tip. Like if you want some good wood glue, then check that
Just
stuff out.
little tip wood glue. If you've got damp cloth when you put your glue on, just wipe it off with this. But just keep that bottom there clean, because you need to be able to seal it like that.
Yeah, just wipe that every now and then.
If you can be bothered, just wipe it with the damp cloth as well. It does help. There we go.
Got these frames in. They're like rectangle frames. We're going to creosote them, and John's just added a brace here because unfortunately the wood isn't.
Well, better just one creosoted, yeah.
Yeah, it looks loads. That's the difference between creosoted and normal treated. This wood is treated, the thinner stuff. And what he's done is he's added. We had to modify this because we had a bit of CLS on the top, but it was out of kilter, so we just got rid of it. Added some like spaces here. We're going to put a nice bit of treated timber along the top, and that acts as that does two things. Number one, it finishes it off, but not only that, it allows you to get these panels in and out, and then we can put some fixings at the bottom.
Just put a swivel thing between these
swivel
two.
thing that just turns.
Yeah.
So like
Old style.
yeah, like old style type
Yeah.
piece of wood. But we'll show you that once we've got completed, because we actually need to put the mesh on these panels, and then once we put the mesh on them, put the twizzly bits, it's actually done.
And then the twizzly bits just means you haven't got further expense. That's all, because I've got loads of offcuts.
Yeah, we've got all sorts of little
it's getting there.
bits. I'll show you what I mean by this actually, just in case you've not done anything before like this. This thing, real simple, like that, and it just twists and it just keeps it like that. So you've got to twist it for these to come out. As you can see, the triangular fruit cage is complete. We've got all 3 panels on, and the top trim piece just to finish it off. This panels go up and then slot down. these little pieces of wood, just twist, very simple, little bit of a shim behind there, just twist them. Got a bit of creosote at the moment, so I won't take them off. That's the back. We're going to push it back a bit more. We may make some changes to it in the future, but for now it's done. So hopefully it gives you some ideas of what you can create.
That's just
There you go, John showed you.
just show.
We're going to add some handles to these panels.
So that slides under there, and it just sits on the bottom there.
So very simple construction. But yeah,
That's it really, and the mesh we've used what we had left over, so just had enough to complete the job, which is quite good.
yeah, we just literally had enough mesh to complete this.
So I don't know if the viewers would be interested, so probably build that fruit
Hang on a
cage
minute,
there,
show you that one there.
mesh it, build this one here. With everything done and finished is about £300 I think. Yeah, so really for what you get for your money. If you
And what are we going to plant in here?
well, the tomatoes. We're going to put tomatoes,
A lot of tomato plants.
cucumbers, different things like that. At the moment we've left the base quite open. That's deliberate. Things tend to fly in, not up, so we can put a couple of screws in there. So yeah, it's all looking good, and we've got some netting arriving tomorrow, which might be useful.
We'll do some more videos on bits soon.
Yeah, so all in all, I think you agree, if you look at it from here, it's turned out okay. We've got one or two finishing touches to do.
Yeah, we've got to do a couple of
A little bit
bits.
on the side here so it looks nice.
A little bit on the side, as John says. Probably make some sort of handles for these.
And we're going to get a bit more of this. Find a little bit so we can show you what we're going to do. We're going to trim down there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, tidy that up so it looks nice. And we're going to just get something real thin so it slides under there, thinner than this, and just edge all these things off so we haven't got any sharp edges on the mesh, so it goes in and out easier. So apart from that,
We're done, aren't we, on it at the moment?
yeah, it can now take plants.
We might
put
do some
plants.
future videos on it, just showing you the improvements we've made.
Yeah.
But for the moment, it's built.
Where there are gaps, the bees can go through, so it's not an issue. Just bear in mind, like I said before, none of this wood is straight. It's all bowed, so when you're working with timber outside, you have to do your best you can. So in essence, these centre braces are to bring the bowing off these woods. It was that bowed I needed.
Yeah, this outdoor treated timber, the
So-
thinner stuff, had actually bowed on one of them.
Yeah, but
So did that thing.
it's a secure area now for sound like prison service, but I'm not. Secure area for our cucumbers and tomato plants. Anyway, thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed what we've been up to today, and we'd always appreciate if you'd subscribe. And I'm off down to the chemist now to get some factor 30 to prevent this happening again.